A very warm welcome. Welcome to the sports segment of the weekend show. I'm Ayo Adams, and I'll be walking you through some of the major headlines. It's been an exciting week of fascinating sporting events. And last night we had Victor Osimhen, who scored twice against Napoli, against Juventus in their tie with Napoli versus Juventus in the Serie A, taking his goal tally from 10 to 12. The boys from Naples took apart the old ladies in a 5-1 thrashing. Also moving on, the African Championship for home-based players kick-started yesterday. The CHAN 2020-2023 kick-started yesterday in Algeria. The hosts won the tie with a 1-0 victory against Libya. Action will continue today with Ethiopia playing Mozambique at 2 p.m. and DR Congo facing Uganda at 5 before Ivory Coast and Senegal toss it out at 8 p.m., the last match of the game. Well, from the world of tennis, preparation for the first Grand Slam of the year at the Australian Open in Melbourne will commence on Monday, 16th January, as top seed and non-seeded players have been paired together across the ATP and WTA to contest for the Grand Slam title. In football, also midweek action saw Southampton knock out Manchester City at St Mary's Stadium in their Carabao Cup tie. AC Milan also dropped out of the Coppa Italia, losing to Torino in extra time with a lone goal. In French Ligue 1, Lionel Messi returned to action for PSG against Angers, scoring the second goal in a 2-0 victory. Also in the English Premier League, Chelsea, in hopes to go back to winning ways, succumbed to another dreadful defeat against London rivals Fulham at the Craven Cottage, with new loan signee Joao Felix picking up a red card in the 58th minute and is scheduled to miss the next 3 fixtures for the Blues. On Sunday, it's El Clasico at the Supercopa as Barcelona will face Real Madrid in the Spanish Supercopa finale in Saudi Arabia. And we're going to see some of the biggest names there as Barcelona will be facing Real Madrid at the Spanish Supercopa. While also on grassroots football, the Minister of Youth and Sport, Chief Sunday Dare, has approved and grants support for the One Nigeria's football project to host its national finals at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja, scheduled to be played on Saturday, 4th February 2023, with regional champions converging to the capital to play for peace and unity ahead of the upcoming 2023 elections. The One Nigerian project has been surging high, and they've been playing the competitions for peace and unity across regional states in regional zones in Nigeria. That's what has been going on. The 2020 election is coming, and what do we want? We want peace, and the One Nigeria grassroots project has been playing for that. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be discussing the Australian Open. Stay tuned with us. Well, welcome back. And as I stated earlier, the first Grand Slam of the tennis season, the Australian Open at Melbourne Park, will kick off on Monday, and we'll be seeing some of the biggest tennis stars grace the field to play for the first Grand Slam of the season. I'm joined from Lagos with Chibuzo, who's going to discuss the pairings from the round 1 and also who are the top players and top athletes to take home these first Grand Slam event. Good morning, Chibuzo. Can you hear me?
Hi, Ayo. Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Glad to have you here. How is Lagos? How's the weather in Lagos?
So the weather where I am is pretty stable. I haven't stepped outside yet, but everything looks very well from here. No sun yet.
All right, let's get to the order of the day.
This is actually the weather for tennis. So usually, if I wasn't on this show, I'd probably be on the court this morning playing some tennis.
Beautiful stuff there. I wish.
How is it over there?
Yeah, the weather is quite calm over here. Very cold in the morning and then gets heated up across the day. Let's get to the business of the day. The Australian Open is on, and the first Grand Slam of the season kickstarts on Monday. And some very, very interesting matchup there. You see, we have Rafael Nadal playing Draper. We have Berrettini taking on Andy Murray and Rublev taking on Dominic Thiem. Some of these encounters for the first round, which one is the most exciting for you?
So I mean, given that this is like the first Grand Slam of the year, I'm like super excited. And if you look at those that draw,
yeah,
you will see that there are some exciting matches for the round one of the tournament, and I am definitely vested in seeing how it goes on Monday. I mean, for one, you have Jack Draper and Nadal playing in and for me, Jack Draper is actually one guy I'm looking out for to see his performance at this tournament, because he played in Nigeria. I think that was in 2018, if I'm correct, and he got to the finals and actually won that event. And since then, I have been following his tennis, and I really think that he's an awesome player, and he has the potential to be a very big player in the future. So, going against Nadal is a very big, stumbling block for him. I intend to see how he navigates past Nadal, if at all he does. But that would be an interesting match. And Murray and Berrettini.
Yeah. Murray and Berrettini.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Yeah. That's another match that I am looking forward to. And Rublev paired with Thiem.
Yeah.
Those are blockbuster matches, and I am really excited, and I look forward to seeing them.
I mean, one of the
How about you?
Yeah, one of the most exciting ties for me happens to be Nadal versus Draper. I mean, it's seeing the defending champion taking on one of the most brilliant starlets on tour will be a glamorous thing for me to see. But also, do you think there's a chance for Rafael Nadal to retain his title this season when we have Djokovic on tour? Do you think that can happen?
Wow, this is an interesting question. And if there's one thing I can take away from Nadal, is his ability to, have that mental strength and fortitude to fight through. Nadal's game is fueled by fight. And, I recall in 2019, going into the French Open that year, his game was not there, and there was such a huge scare. He lost out in Barcelona, lost out in Monte Carlo, lost out in Madrid, all through that. And when we got to Rome, things shifted. I think he would go on to win that final against Djokovic in 3 sets. And then at the French Open that year, Nadal would go on to, retain that title. That was winning his 12th. So, and last year as well at this event, at the Australian Open, he played against Medvedev. We know what happened in that match. He was a 5-1, 5-2 down, and then he would go on to actually win that match. So Nadal is not someone that you underestimate.
You can never underestimate
that guy in the locker room anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is who Nadal is, and if there's anybody who would have a very rough start and end up at the main event and actually show up, is Nadal.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking anything away from him.
Yeah, not taking anything.
He stands as much a good chance as Djokovic and other guys in the locker room.
All right. Just quickly before we move to the WTA tour, is there any seeded player that you're looking at on tour that you think can, spark a light in this Grand Slam? I mean, there's Tsitsipas, there's Medvedev, there's Taylor Fritz, there's also Berrettini, there's Auger-Aliassime, there's Big Tiafoe. Which of these young stars do you think, can shock the world and grab an Australian Open Grand Slam? Do you think there's any shock we're expecting from any of the young seeded players? If you have to pick somebody, pick somebody.
Thank you for that question. If there's one thing I know about tennis, is that, don't underestimate anybody. Yeah. And I like the fact that these young stars are, knocking on the door. Tournament in, tournament out, they are, giving their best, and they are always, in that semi-finals realm. So someone like Zverev, he's coming back from an injury. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. FAA, Felix Auger-Aliassime, he has been playing some pretty good tennis in recent times. Taylor Fritz as well. My God, that guy has been playing some really good tennis. And then there's a new guy on the block. I mean, he actually beat Nadal at the Paris Masters. Tommy Paul. He's American.
Yeah.
He's another person that I'm looking out for to see, what he's going to do at this event. There's Ruth Casper. There are a whole bunch of guys, in the locker room who are willing to take on these guys. And then, please do not also take out Holger Rune.
Yeah.
So Holger Rune beat Djokovic last year. And I am really, really looking forward to what he's going to do this year. So I am really very excited about this tournament. And it's the first tournament of the year, so I intend to see what the guys are going to do.
All right. Just in a single answer, the WTA women, do you think anybody is going to climb? Because, no, I mean, Ashley Barty, who won the contest last year, has retired from the sport. Now we have, Pegula, we have, Coco Gauff, Iga Swiatek. Which one of them do you think, can take the title? Just give me your answer directly. Which one do you think?
If I'm to put all my money in,
Iga.
It would be Iga Swiatek. She has over these past couple of months or years now, she has really, really dominated the locker room, and I really think that if anybody, I can bank on anybody and just say, my money locked in, this is who is going to win this tournament, is probably Iga, because of how the kind of mentality and approach that she gives tennis.
All right, thank you very much. We are out of time. Thank you, Chibuzo, for coming on. That's been Chibuzo Ibe from Lagos, giving us his insights on the Australian Open 2023, the first Grand Slam of the year. If you're in Lagos, if you wish to play tennis, reach out to Chibuzo. He's an enthusiast and he's really, really good on court. Thank you, Chibuzo. We'll be seeing you throughout the course of the tournament or at the end of the tournament to come and back up the beats that you gave on the show this morning. All right, moving on. We still have, it's match day weekend. It's Derby weekend. It's on Saturday morning, Derby started. We have Manchester City versus Manchester United in the Premier League. We also have on Sunday the North London Derby between Tottenham Hotspur versus Arsenal. That will be a big clash for the North London rivals. And on Sunday, we have the Super Copa El Clasico between Barcelona and Real Madrid playing in Saudi Arabia. If you're a fan of football, that is where you need to be this weekend. Manchester City versus Manchester United. Barcelona versus Real Madrid, and Arsenal versus Tottenham in the North London Derby. In the light of the Derby weekend that we had, we went to the street to ask the fans what they think about the North London Derby and the Manchester Derby. Remember that Erling Haaland put a really magnificent performance against Manchester United in the first leg. We asked the fans, do they think that Manchester United, who are now in great form, can stop Erling Haaland from doing the same thing he did in the first leg? And also, can Tottenham put a stop to Arsenal's reign at the top of the table? Well, this is what the fans had to say. My name is Ayo Adams. I'll be seeing you same time next week. Bye-bye for now.
I don't really think so because Tottenham are not in form, and Arsenal forwards now they are on track.
Tottenham cannot stop them. They have a materials and a young player that can handle it.
The Arsenal boys were very good and they have been playing very well, and I know they can do it.
Arsenal has record. Arsenal will beat Tottenham. But Tottenham doesn't even have Arsenal record now.
I can't predict Arsenal and Tottenham.
Tottenham is not really that good, so I don't think they can slow down Arsenal. Arsenal is already good. Their defense, their attack.
Holding Haaland, there's no line now. Come on. Who wants to hold him? Is it Martinez? Shey Martinez won't hold Haaland. How we want to take to him, abeg? How? And is a beast. Nobody can stop him. Maybe Chelsea can stop him. But not Man U. Certainly not Man U. I'm expecting 5-0.
No, Man U can't hold Haaland. Because Haaland is a good striker and he likes to position.
No, my only no Haaland. No, my cannot stop Haaland. Lisandro Martinez cannot mark Haaland. Nobody can mark Haaland. That my team. Haaland will surely shine.
Mario cannot stop Haaland. Haaland is picking time and is one of the best strikers in the world.
Yes, due to the performance of Rashford right now after the World Cup, he has been playing very well. Then I know he can hold Man City. He's performing in free kick, in scoring goals. So he can do it. Despite Haaland is in the Man City, it doesn't mean anything. Because Haaland did not go for the World Cup. Although he's a good player, but I know with the experience of those boys that went for the World Cup in the Man U, they can do it, can still make it.
I think they can slow down Haaland. We have a very good defender with the likes of Varane, Martinez, and maybe let me say Maguire. To me, Martinez can still hold down Haaland a little bit because Martinez has the power.